Look, if it's not a big deal, I will play it. So if you don't have it, my apologies.
Yep, that's it. We're good.
It's the Goldfarb Shukiar arrangement, Clay Zimmer, right? Did I do anything else weird with the set list I sent you? It is on here. After silent prayer.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, I'll take that. I won't even make you redo it tonight. We're going to start with Lies, but when we get to the words, we're going to be on bracketed page 134. Your books are underneath your seats. All of our page numbers have bracketed and non-bracketed numbers on them. Everybody except for maybe Sim in the room right now will be going to the bracketed page for our page numbers, and we hope, I'll remind you of that probably later, but we hope you'll join with us as we sing. So these words of Psalm, if you look in the English, we just sang them. Sing praise to Adonai with the lyre and the melodious song, with trumpets and the blast of the horn. Come on.
Our theme song.
It could be our theme song, right? Anyway, we're so glad to be joined this evening by our new sanctuary band, formerly known as the worship band. So you might know them by both names, but in our new sanctuary, they've taken on a new name. So we have Lou and Larry and Bob and Harvey and Charlie and Janet and Marina Veronina and Rabbi Steiner, and we're so glad to be with you to celebrate Shabbat this evening, and we are on bracketed pages 138 and 139. To the sanctuary as we welcome Shabbat. Bo'im shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, u'etzola, toch emunei segula, bo'im take a moment to greet your neighbors. If you're sitting near someone you don't know, try to make a new friend. Page 142. Please be seated. Shalom Aleichem. Okay, we need her for candle lighting. Thank you very much, Cheryl. No, a grown-up one, but thank you, Emma. Okay, well, why don't we just let Cheryl get Hazel? In the meantime, I'm going to call up Carlin Fateman and Asher Fateman. We're going to go light our Shabbat candles. We're going to walk around this way. Hazel's going to be back. It's going to be great. She's fine. We'll wait for her. We're gonna wait. It's okay. We're great. We're perfect here. Thank you. She's got quick legs when she joins us back here. Hazel, come this way. Come that way. Go that way. All right, we're on page 120. Oh, hear our prayer we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Sim, you can join us on the bima with your prayer book. In a moment, Simeon will lead us in Kiddush. But before we do that, we're going to share some blessings. And by the way, I realized when I was introducing our new sanctuary band, it was implicit for me, but if you don't know all of us here, I should say these are all temple members. They're all volunteers. They all practice like a lot for this awesome music they give us. And it might be during the service that like you're not used to hearing a trumpet play certain things and that, or a trombone. And that might make you like giggle or think like, oh, this is unusual. And that's okay. That's awesome. Welcome to Barnard Temple. And if it makes you want to like wiggle your body a little, that's also okay. So just like lean into it. Be happy. Enjoy the music. It helps us to experience prayer differently. And if you think it's unusual or the first time or something that feels foreign, then it won't soon. And don't judge it. Just enjoy it, right? Cool. Okay, I didn't say that before, but I want to say that now. Because I know sometimes when people come to Barnard for the first time, we have like musicians on the beam and they're like, what's happening? There are a lot of horns. And there are. And drums and guitars. And we love music and we love our musicians, our beloved Barnard musicians. And so, yeah. Okay, so we're going to add our blessings to this cup, right? We imagine that we know that we use the juice in here to sanctify the day, right? The blessing is over the day, but the juice is a vehicle. And we can add our blessings to sort of elevate even more the holiness of this day that we celebrate. So what is good, Barnard Temple and gathered guests? Eileen. Beautiful. A new baby. Excellent. And lovely namesakes. Hazel? Your brother is becoming bar mitzvah this Shabbat. Yeah, that's true. Andrew? Tracy got a promotion. Cool. She's not here, but tell her we say, well, I don't see her here. Okay. Tell her we say Mazel Tov. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, Harvey has his hand up? Meryl is pointing to Harvey.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
My only grandson, my first grandson, my favorite grandson, just graduated from University of Pennsylvania
Hurrah, hurrah.
2 weeks ago.
For the red and the blue.
So we're very
Yes.
proud of him.
Mazel Tov. Cool. All right, Jane Dugan.
Yes, my fifth grandson.
Okay. There is a lot of posturing here. Awesome graduations. Great. Yeah, Ginger.
Happy that we have friends here and family from all over the place to celebrate Sim.
Yeah. Cool. We're happy they're here too. Friends and family of Sim. Yeah. Great. Susan. Not to pull rank. Here we go. All right. A lot of grandsons. And glorious peonies. Yes, it's a beautiful time for beautiful things that grow. Totally. I'll just add, since we're talking about plants, that we had a really sweet garden planting and cleanup and weeding right before. Some of you here were there for that. There were 15 people of ages that spanned the decades and abilities, and just hanging out and weeding and planting and, building community in the dirt, like figuratively and literally. So if you ever thought, I wish I could go to that garden thing, but I don't know how to garden, you should come. If you thought, I'm a kind of expert gardener and I'll be like really embarrassed by how much you don't know, there's somebody there knows more than you too, so don't worry. And it's a lot of fun. I hung out there for a little while before I came here and they were having a blast. Okay, one more, two more, David.
I'm grateful for a really fun, exciting, competitive tennis match that I had this week with a really good partner. We didn't win, but it was fun.
Okay. Oh, it was you. I was like, it's somebody in this room, obviously, but I don't know who. Okay. All right, Marina and David played an awesome tennis match this week and had fun. Okay, Rebecca Holland.
I had a really amazing tennis lesson from my son Matthew.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, we'll end there. That's a beautiful end. Matthew Miller gave his mother, Rebecca Holland, an awesome tennis lesson. Great. Okay. Sim. Okay. So these are gifts that we'll send you home with today. They're from the Barner Temple Men's Club and Sisterhood. And inside this bag is a Chanukiah and a Kiddush cup. I know you've been here a lot in the last couple of years, so we hope that you'll light it during Hanukkah, you'll use your Kiddush cup on Shabbat, on holidays, at other important moments in your life, and they will connect you always to Barnard. You'll remember all of the things that we planted in you and that you helped to grow, right? This reminder to be a light in dark times, to collect blessings, to gather with people we love, to celebrate the good stuff. So a tether to us whenever and wherever you are growing as a Jewish person in the world. Cool? Okay. So I just want to give a sentence or two of backstory about this young man here, because it's cool what Sim did. Is it okay? Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway, so. So Simeon, but we call him Sim, started religious school, started JJP a little bit later than many other of our kids do, because he decided he wanted to go to religious school and become bar mitzvah. And I know I'm embarrassing you, but it's a cool story. And he came in with a lot of friends who were already here, who were at grade level, for our program. And he came in a different grade, and he learned, and he studied hard, and he caught up. And he did a thing that I think a lot of people think you can't do, like you missed the time you're supposed to start something and the thing passes. Well, that's just not the way we work, and it's not the way it needs to be. And I think in addition to the beautiful Torah he's going to chant and he's going to teach tomorrow, the way that you have approached this, not that there wasn't eye rolling and groaning along the way like every other, reluctant, cranky teenager, but what I want you to hear me say, and what I want your family to hear me remind them of too, is that even with all of that very normal age-appropriate stuff, you did a really cool, really brave, really awesome thing. And we're so glad that you're doing it here, and that you took that leap of courage and trusted us, and that we get to celebrate your entrance into Jewish adulthood this Shabbat. You see, I'm killing him. But it's okay, because it's all awesome stuff. Okay. So Sim is going to lead Kiddush, which is on page 123. Please rise. All right, I won't say anything else nice about you until tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava, uvratzon hinhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh, zeher litziyat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodeshecha, be'achava uvratzon, hinhaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat.
Page 146, we remain standing. Take a deep breath for Shabbat. Page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Page 154, please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol lavcha vechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'yisharecha, Leman tiskeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 158. Prayer for safety and shelter and comfort, protection, page 160.
A shelter of peace for all, and guard our going, our coming home, filled with life and peace from now and evermore. Let there be shelter for the brokenhearted, a shelter of peace for all, a shelter of love for all.
On page 162, just take a moment, think about something that you are going to do for yourself that's a little different than the rest of your weekday routine for Shabbat, right? This is all about the enjoyment of Shabbat and how important it is that we keep Shabbat however we do that. So just like a private, like what's one thing you're going to do between now and when the sun sets tomorrow that's for you, that's for rest, that's for refresh, that's a breath, that's something that is restorative.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי Page 164, please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasei Avot v'imahot, U'mevii Gila lifnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verafech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayei emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melech, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai,
continue privately through pages 180 and 181. You may do so seated or standing, as is your custom. Okay, Sasha and Adele, can I borrow you for your very excellent handing out paper skills? Thank you. I keep under copying, which is like definitely good for the environment and bad for, so just share with the person next to you. Do you mind? Well, even if you do, please do it anyway. Thank you. Okay. One of our screens is stuck, but when it's working again, I promise to return to the screens instead of the paper. Okay, so our Torah portion this week is called Naso. And I explained last week that some Reform communities studied this Torah portion 2 weeks in a row because Shavuot is, in many communities, a 2-day holiday. In the diaspora, in the Reform community, and in Israel, it is a 1-day holiday. So we were done with Shavuot and needed to move on to Torah, but like the conservative and Orthodox Jews were not done with Shavuot, and they were just doing Naso this week. So one of the ways around that is to just move on and be off by a week. And one of the ways around that is to divide the portion in half. Sometimes we can do it differently if it's a double portion. It wasn't. Anyway, so we didn't study Naso last week, right? Because we said we'd study it this week. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff in this Torah portion, and I'm not talking about what Sim is teaching tomorrow. So you're going to have to come to learn about the Nazarites tomorrow morning. But we're going to, there's extra? Okay. I bet lots of people still need. Here, Sasha, go to that back corner. All right. Well, that's okay. Well, you know. They're coming. I'm just like trying to get a paper in front of you. All All right. So what I would like to study with you tonight is actually the core text you already know probably, because this week's Torah portion has in it the priestly blessings. And every year I think, I always teach the priestly blessings. I'm not going to teach them again this year. But then I go back and I study more commentary or something new about the priestly blessings, and I think I'm going to teach about the priestly blessings again. So we're going to study the priestly blessings again. And these are those threefold blessings that we sing or we say at lots of different sweet and important times, when the ark is open, when babies are named, at weddings, on the high holidays. It's also part of the Saturday morning service traditionally that goes with the prayer for peace. Birkat Kohanim is actually what that prayer is called in the morning. And I love these blessings. You do too. I just know you do. You know them, right? So I think I'm just going to read today, just for ease. You're just going to have to keep listening to me. So this is the text that really comes from the Torah portion. Everybody near a sheet now? Did we do it? Well, I don't think there are any extras, unless there are extras. Are there extras? Okay, you're doing a very good job sharing. Thank you. I'll make more paper copies next time. It's very hard to guess how many people are going to come to services, you know? I keep guessing wrong. And I'm glad you're all here. I'll read them so you'll hear. So these are the blessings. Thus shall you bless the people of Israel, right? God is speaking to Moses and to the priests, to the Levites, right? Say to them, may the Eternal bless you and protect you, right? Yivrechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Eternal make God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the Eternal's face be lifted toward you in favor and grant you peace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Right, you've heard us. You've done those blessings. Thus they shall link my name with the people of Israel, and I will bless them. This is also a blessing we would say over our children on Shabbat, right, if that's a custom that you grow up with. So what do you notice about these words here, right? Maybe you haven't sat with them in front of you in English like this ever or for a while. What do you notice? What questions do you have? What do you love? What are you unsure of? Yeah, Bob.
Which is interesting, it's asking God to make his face shine upon you. It's a little unusual. It's like the same person has to do something to the same person or deity.
Right. So when you say may God's face shine on you.
The Eternal make God's face shine.
Yeah. Yisa Adonai. Yeah, this might just be partially sort of the awkwardness of this translation. If I were to translate it, if I said Yisa Adonai panav elecha, may God make God's face. Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, so it's a little bit twisted in that way. Yep. So that there's some will involved, right? We're praying that God will agree to do X, sort of, right? By the way, who's doing the blessing here, just for context, right? It says, but just maybe that's not clear. Who is the one doing the blessing here? The priests, right? The Kohanim are blessing the people in this moment, okay? We don't have priests anymore, right? We don't have Kohanim since the temple was destroyed for the second time. And also in the Reformed community, we did away intentionally with that hierarchy that is embedded in the Torah with the Kohanim and Levites. From the beginning, they were nope, that's not how we understand community anymore. So it's cool if you're a Kohen, you probably come from a Kohen line. And in some congregations, you would be called up first for an aliyah. But in our community, that's not how we roll, right? Okay, so the priests are blessing the people. You've often seen this as the Spock, thing, but this, if you've ever been in a more traditional community where sometimes people pick their chalices up and they, I'm holding paper, so I can do it, but I can't do it, I'm holding paper. Okay, so anything else you notice or, right, think about these blessings? Yeah, Cheryl? Beautiful. Sure, right? So that would be a great question. What does it mean to shine God's face or light? There are so many beautiful ways we could answer that. Cheryl suggests Torah, right? That's a beautiful answer. We probably could spend a half an hour just talking about, it won't be a half an hour, I hope, just talking about that. Good. Anything else jump out at you? Questions, comments? These blessings are so beautiful, and they're so simple, on the surface, but they're really not so simple, right, really. So What I tell you all the time about this moment of blessing as it connects to us here, I know I've said this a number of times, is that in the time of the Torah, the priests were channeling God, but they were the ones doing the blessing, right? And there's a whole conversation in the Talmud that I had and then I took out about whether the priest should be face to face with the people or face to the back of neck, right? Like as if you were turned around and I was blessing you from behind. I'm not a priest, but if I were, or if we're face to face. And the Talmud rules unequivocally that it should be face to face, that we should be blessing one another like chavero, like a friend, right? And since the temple was destroyed for the second time in the year 70, and since we don't exist in this sort of way of doing Judaism anymore, there are no more priests to carry out this function, among other things, that it's really on us to bless each other, right? And to me, that's one of the most beautiful opportunities for this particular moment, but just in general in terms of the way we interact with each other in a post-priest version of Judaism like we live. So this is kind of a long midrash, a story that I came across this week that had a slightly different take than I have taught before, I think. And that was there was a nuance in it that was beautiful for me about this moment with the fingers, actually. So I'm going to read it. And it looks long, but I'll read it so it doesn't seem long, I hope. The Holy One said, "From the beginning I have blessed my people. From now on the blessings are transmitted to you. You are to bless my children," right? So God is literally giving the power to bless to the priests, to the people to bless each other, right? That's so beautiful. Therefore, the Holy One told Moses to caution Aaron and his children to bless Israel. How is this shown? From what they have read on the matter. Speak unto Aaron and to his children, saying, "Thus shall you bless." They like to give a proof text for everything. Okay. The congregation of Israel said to the Holy One, "Master of the world, you tell the priests to bless us. We only need you to bless us. As it is stated, look down from your holy dwelling from the heavens and bless your people." Right? We don't need the priest to bless us, God. We just want you to bless us, your God. The Holy One said to them, "Although I have told the priests to bless you, I am standing along with them and blessing you." For that reason, the priests spread their hands. They do so to say, "The Holy One is standing behind us." So it also says, "There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice, from between the fingers of the priests, peering through the lattice when they extend their hands. It is therefore stated in the book of Numbers, 'Thus shall you bless.'" So why, according to this midrash, or what is so special about this moment where the priests spread their hands, does this midrash say is happening? Yeah. God is peeking. Right? God is behind us or around us, somehow in the spots between our fingers. God is not there, but there. God is not doing the blessing, but God is in our hands. God is in the blessing, even though we are the ones doing the blessing. I love that. I love that image because I love the idea that God empowers us to bless each other. But God is not absent. God doesn't say, "All right, you got this. See ya. I'm going to coffee." Right? God is still in the blessing. And I love that it's in hands, right? The way that we are invited to open our hands to do work in the service of holiness, of each other, of building sacred community, of reaching out. And to imagine that every time we offer each other blessing, which we are going to do in a couple of minutes. You probably knew that once I started getting excited about this, or if you didn't, now you can just stew and be uncomfortable for a couple of minutes, but it won't be uncomfortable, I promise. That we could imagine that God is here. God is in all of your hands. Now that there are no more priests, and it is on us to bless each other, that when we spread out our hands, whether it's like this, or like this, or like this, however we use our hands to offer blessing, that God is with us. God is peering through our fingers to see what we are doing, what kind of blessing we are bestowing. Okay, Rabbi Shai Held. So this is an ancient text, this is a modern text. The Tanchuma is an ancient text. Shai Held is a rabbi in New York City who's terrific. If you don't study his stuff, highly recommend. "We are not sources, but channels of blessing," he says. "We do not create the goodness we bestow, but rather we pass it on. A good teacher, for example, knows well that the Torah she teaches is not hers, but God's. She is a vehicle for Torah, but not its source. A good parent knows that the love he showers upon his child is not ultimately something he himself made. That love itself is a manifestation of divine grace. The parent's task is not to manufacture love, but to pass it on. To understand and internalize this is what allows us to remain genuine givers, to prevent our giving from yielding to a form of narcissism in which everything is ultimately about us. God, and not we, is the source of blessing, and in giving, we pass along a bounty, ultimately not ours. So these two texts, which don't necessarily go together, right? They remind us when we bless and we imagine God sort of peering through our fingers that we are channeling blessing. Right? We don't have to have all the answers or the words or know exactly what we're supposed to do, but we do have to show up with open hands. And we do have to figure out what the other person before us needs. And we do have to figure out how we will receive the blessings that other people are offering us. A conversation for more time, I might ask you, and you can just reflect quietly, you don't have to answer now, is it easier to give blessing or is it easier to receive blessing? Our answers would vary. It probably depends on the circumstance and from whom and all those things. But that's interesting, right? So this piece that falls sort of chronologically in the middle of the first two we read. The blessing in the priestly blessing is vague so that it might convey whatever is appropriate for each person to be blessed with. Likewise, each person should be blessed according to everything that is in need of blessing, protection from whatever causes trouble. So this is a question for us to think about. How do we know what the person before us needs? This is not a rhetorical question. How can we figure out as blessers? We could ask them. You know, like when someone, after there's a death in someone's family or somebody's recovering from illness and you say to that person, let me know if you need anything. That puts the responsibility on the person who's grieving or who's recovering to reach out and call and say, can you help me? That's actually not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to figure out on our own how to show up and figure out how to help, even if it's not perfect, right? So the question is, how do we figure out what blessings are needed that we can bring? And yeah, Bob.
I think you go to your knowledge of human nature. People that are bereft, very often they need companionship. They need to be brought in. They need to be invited, particularly if they've lost a partner that they're invited with. So you use your knowledge of humanity of all those years and intuit what's needed.
Great. So if we're lucky, we know somebody and we can intuit from knowing them and knowing what we imagine people might need to figure out what kind of a blessing we might be able to offer them. Right? We might be, anybody else want to, I'm not fishing for answers here. This is just a question. Debbie? Great. You might reflect on your own experiences in a similar or related situation. Good. You know, there's always like concentric circles of people we can ask and check in with. And I'm not literally talking only here about after there's been a loss or an illness. I'm talking about like the partner you live with or the child that you're helping to raise or your colleague in the office, right? These moments of blessing, you know, they shouldn't just come to us in moments of catastrophe, right? This is like, if you could imagine like in a congregation where they did this priestly blessing would be offered all the time. Like it's part of the Shabbat morning or the morning services, right? So these are like, this is an invitation for us as blessers to just be like aware of those big, but also probably even more importantly, small moments to notice, to learn, and to open our hands up to people in blessing, right? We do that when we donate, we do that when we call, we do that when we show up, when we sit next to someone quietly, whatever it is. And I would say, I think for most of us, that's easier to do than to let someone offer us blessing a lot of the time, right? I mean, I'll speak for myself. That's definitely harder for me to receive what people give me. And that's part of this, right? If we live in a post-priest time where we get to bless each other, then we also have to receive blessing. So one of the ways we might bless each other is by helping each other accept the blessings that are being offered to us, right? Or whatever it is, but to imagine that we are channelers of blessing, to imagine that God is peering through the cracks in our fingers when we reach out to each other in blessing, to know that we are the conduit, the connectors, is a really powerful way to imagine the importance of you and me and all of us here. Because God gave us the responsibility and the awesome opportunity to do this. So I'm going to pause here because we're going to do something together in a minute that I promise won't make you too uncomfortable. But in the meantime, I'm going to call up the Janow Friedman family because these awesome people, Hazel and Simeon, don't have yet formally a Jewish name. And Sim is going to be called to the Torah tomorrow as bar mitzvah. So we really want his name to be formally given by the point when he does that. So we're going to sort of blessing on your head, mazel tov, for these awesome young people. And I invited Ginger and Andrew just to say a word or two about their namesakes. So here, this mic is on over here, Ginger.
You with the tissues.
It's
No.
right here if you want, but I
I'm
think
good.
you'll be fine.
I thought I didn't need to write anything down, and then I jotted down some things messily, and we'll see. Actually, I'm standing first, so you go first.
You go first?
Yeah.
So me go first is that part of your Hebrew name is Yosef, which is after Julian, who was my father. And I was thinking during this service that one of the things that he was really good at was when he would sort of decide to do something, he would put his head down and figure out a way to do it. And as his son, that was sometimes a little bit of a pain for me, but mostly was just awesome to watch. And you have that in you too, which is sort of what the rabbi was talking about. And as your father, it is sometimes a little bit of a pain for me, but mostly just awesome to watch. So good on you.
Hazel, your Hebrew name is Ayala Tzvia. Tzvia was my dad's Hebrew name, and we want you to keep that with you because we want you to have his boundless humor, his always present generosity and empathy, and you have that, and you guys are connected in that way, and you have been pretty much since the moment you were born. So that's one more way he's with us, and you.
So we could just like end there, but we care about ritual, right, in our community. So there's a blessing that's just going to make the name official for each of you. And then we're all going to bless each other with these words of the priestly blessing, which are in an easier way to read, I think, in your book, okay? So Sim, I'll name you first. I mean, you have a name, obviously, but in Hebrew, okay? All right. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, kayem et hayeled hazeh la'aviv u'le'imo, v'yikarei shemo b'Yisrael, Shimon Yosef, ben Ari v'Gila. Yismach ha'av beyotzei chalatzav v'tagel imo v'fri vitna, zeh hakaton gadol yiyeh kashem shenichnas labrit ken yikanes l'Torah u'lechuppah u'lema'asim tovim. Which means, God and God of our mothers and our fathers, sustain this awesome young person through his parents' loving care. Let him be known among our people Israel by the name Shimon Yosef, ben Ari v'Gila. May his name be a source of joy to him and inspire him to serve our people and all humankind. May his parents rejoice in his growth of body and soul. As they have brought him into the covenant, so may they with wisdom and patience lead him to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds, and to a loving companionship. And let us all say, Amen. Hey, Hazel. Hi. You too. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, kayem et hayalda hazot la'aviha u'la'ima, v'yikara shema b'Yisrael, Ayala Tzvia, bat Ari v'Gila, Yismach ha'av beyotzei chalatzav v'tagel ima v'fri vitna, zot ha'ketana gedola tehiyah, kashem shenichnas al habrit, kain tikanes l'Torah u'lechuppah u'lema'asim tovim. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this awesome young person through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people Israel by the name Ayala Tzvia, bat Ari Vagila. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul as they have brought her into the covenant. So may they with wisdom and patience lead her to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds, and to loving companionship. And let us all say, Amen. Okay, now, you guys are going to be really good guinea pigs for me, and you're all going to just come stand in the front here, okay? Right in front of the Amud.
Front.
Like right here in front of the Amud. I'm going to come too. No, like facing everybody. Okay. And I'm going to ask you to turn to page 603 in your prayer book. In brackets, remember, always in brackets. And I'm going to ask you to rise. Okay. And so you see where it says, like, this is really the part of this book, this piece of the book is stuff we could do at home with our families. But the priestly blessing is here in the Shabbat book. So forget where it says for both boys and girls, because this is really about blessing our children. But you'll see it's the priestly blessing. It starts, Yavarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, right? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to, I'm just going to make this even more weird. I'm going to ask you to go stand in the middle. We're all going to bless each other. You're just the focal point for a moment, because we just named these two awesome people, and you're very good sports. Thank you. Sometimes we ask for forgiveness and not permission. No, you don't need a book. Okay. So we're all going to face each other. I just happened to stick the Jana Friedman family in the middle because I got to name these kids, and that would be part of what we would do anyway in a naming, would be a priestly blessing. And if you don't want to face them and you want to face somebody near you, that's actually fine with me. But I want you to have the experience of opening your hand. You can hold it up or down or out. I know this is totally odd, and it's okay. We do weird things and we feel new stuff. But I want to have this experience like the priests of blessing each other, okay? Everyone is doing this. Don't be too silly. Once one person gets silly, it's broken. So don't be silly, okay? We're going to say this blessing in Hebrew and in English, and then we're all going to say together, Kein Yehi Ratzon, which means may it be God's will, okay? So the Hebrew first. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Now, I just want you to imagine before you take your hands down that God is peeking through all of our fingers, and that somehow we are able to find for each other the blessing that we need to give, and that somehow we are able to feel open enough to receive the blessing that is ours. And we say together, Kein Yehi Ratzon. You can be seated. And in the middle of page 371, we offer a prayer for healing, for our friends, for our family, perhaps for ourselves, for anyone who is in need of healing, of body or of spirit. Like to offer the name aloud of anyone for whom you pray, I invite you to share that name aloud now. these names, we add these members of our Barner community: Debbie Becker, Peter Brody, Ray Danziger, Barbara Haubenstock, Carolyn Hassan, Ryan Konzelman, Larry Levine, Ron Lynn, Joanne Siegel, Harrison Solomon, Joel Schwartzberg, Stasha Vichnanza, Joyce Weinberg, Stephen Weinberg, and Beth Wiesner. Page 586 on the lower half of the page. Please rise. Page 591 in the middle of the page. Please be seated. Page 598. We remember with love these of your friends and family whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat, and those who've died in more recent days. This week we remember Ruth Baker, Paul Barr, Gershon Cohen, Abraham D. Cohen, Dora L. Cohen, Agnes Arecki, Delmo Angelo Filippi, Jacob L. Gabin, Teddy Ginsburg, David Goldman, Fanny M. Goodkin, Roberta Hoff, Fanny Hornstein, Arthur Kaplan. So I'm looking at Jackie, but it's really for all of us. This week is Risa Kaufman's yahrzeit. So we remember Risa Kaufman, Harold Lampert, Noah Landries, Heidi Lesson, Jean Martin, Jacob Mikola, Richard Yale Miller, Florence Monoloy, Roy Powers, Tao Brazen, Samuel Rosen, Norbert Sager, Seymour Schulman, Herman Isaac Sobin, Magdalena Seto, Jeanette Valenti, Emil Weil, and Sarah Zalin. During this period of Shloshim, we remember Phyllis Brownstein and Marshall Freitas. And this week, we offer Kaddish for Irina Dukan, who's the mother of Helen Dukan Pollock, and we send our love to Helen and Elon and Sammy and Natan and Sophie. And Elizabeth, we remember your beloved Uncle Jack Levitt, who so many of us knew or felt like we knew, and we know then of your deep commitment and love for him and for his family and he for you. And we send you and Larry and CJ and Amanda and Greg and Rachel our love. If you are remembering anyone this Shabbat, you'd like to offer that person's name aloud, I invite you to do so now. So I invite you to rise first if you are observing a yard site or remembering someone who's died in recent days. We do this just a reminder for us so that in our community where we all rise in a moment together to say Mourners Kaddish, we can also see who in our midst are the mourners and the rememberers, and it gives us an opportunity to check in over Oneg and say, who are you remembering? Who were they? What are you feeling is close to you from them today? And also so we can say specifically to you, Zichronam livracha, may the memories of your beloveds continue to become blessings as you carry their legacies with you. We rise together on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach lirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all people everywhere. And we say together, amen. Briefly, tomorrow morning is Shabbat Yoga at 9:30 with Rachel Duan. She's awesome. She's a professional. She owns a yoga studio. She has training in Jewish yoga. She's for realsies. So if you're thinking, that sounds kind of cool, you should come. If you've never done yoga, you're welcome. If you're a yogi, which I'm not even sure that's a word you're supposed to use, you should come. But really, in the atrium, if you have a yoga mat, bring it. But if not, she's always got some with her. Please come. She's awesome. It's our Shabbat gift to you, among other things. Another awesome next opportunity, next Shabbat morning, in addition to our Shabbat morning service here, Rabbi Meirav Kalush, who is happens to be married to, just for reference, but this is not why she's coming, to our executive director, Ehud Klinger. She's an Israeli Reform rabbi, ordained in Israel in the Reform movement, and works here in New Jersey, and she's going to be leading Torah study. So you should come study with her, because how cool is that going to be? Okay? That's next week. This Sunday is the cleanup at Mount Nebo, the cemetery cleanup at Mount Nebo at 10 o'clock. There's information in your emails. And June 14th is our annual meeting. We'll open the doors at 8:45, coffee and schmooze, business meeting, and then lunch and awards. And we would really like, if you're coming, we hope you're coming, and please register, because we want to make sure we have food for you, and we want to make sure we have a seat for you, so that when you walk in, you know you're supposed to be there, and that we want you there. Good? Great. Okay. Yoga, Rabbi Kalush, cemetery cleanup, annual meeting. So much awesome stuff. I don't need this again. Just this. Happening at the Barnard Temple.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam,
hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank again. I'll go the other way this time. Charlie and Harvey and Bob and Larry and Lou and Janet for awesome music, for elevating our worship and bringing a little joy after a week. And we conclude with this prayer for peace.
Shalom
Shabbat Shalom.